If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. A friend of mine sent me this. I really didn't want to cover it, but I'm going to cover it anyway. Change of pace, and I need you guys to see what's going on because maybe it'll help wake somebody else up. But horror movies are constantly used for a lot of different things in predictive programming. A lot of truth in horror movies, a lot more truth in these horror movies than there are in, or on, I should say, the news. But this one is called Lamb. Now, obviously, right off the bat, you should know and understand that the choice of using a lamb and mockery of the Son of Man, the King of Kings, the Lamb of God, that is done on purpose, just like there's bands called, or a band called Lamb of God. This is obviously blatantly done. But let me just give you a rundown as I show you some clips from it, because there are some things being normalized here that are going to continue to be normalized. And you're going to say, Call, you're crazy. I've only been saying it for years, and you're seeing all this stuff come right into the light like it was never anything taboo in the first place. Well, one of the things is obviously Beast. Beauty and the Bestiality, right? This is something they've been pushing for a while. Now, the goat, the plot is about a couple who can't have a child. Thus, the sheep, the lamb that they're raising, this one lamb in particular, is human-like, even showing him walking like a human. Now, I'm not saying that that's what the entire plot is, because they don't reveal a ton in the actual plot, except just to disturb people with the creepy behavior of mixing humans and animals like this. But that's something that's going to continue to happen. Now, these are the same people who made the film Midsummer. I did a video on it, I believe, 2 summers ago. Midsummer, showing you just a ton of predictive programming with rituals and human ... sack, rough ice. That's what the film was showing. They also did the film Witches, or The Witch, I believe it's called. I know there's been many adaptations of that, but this one was The Witch. And, the Satanists were in love with this film. The Satanic Temple, Satanic Church, they were all promoting it and pushing it. So it's from the same people. So obviously it's going to be along the same lines. And you'll even see the thumbnail as I show you the clip now. The thumbnail happens to zoom in on the eye of the lamb, right? I'm sure that wasn't on purpose. Now, I can't speak for the lamb and being, I don't know if he's specifically a failed optometrist as well, but clearly the director and the producer, these are all things that are done deliberately. They're very easy to see once you wake up. They don't just go, let's, for the thumbnail, let's do, this would be perfect. Just let's zoom in on the eye. Because that's not strange or weird. That wouldn't make people a little bit, unaware of what the plot might be. They have other pictures. They have a lamb walking around in human's clothes. That might have been a better thumbnail. Some people are like, what is this? Or even the lamb with the crown of flowers. And you don't think that that's a reference to the crown of thorns? Of course it is. Tons of as above, so below. So take a look.
You never did. God only knows what I'd be without you. God only knows what I'd be without.
Of course, at the end there, you see where it says lamb and it says Mother Nature, as above, so below. That's how they work. That's what they do. And I get it that people are going to see something like this and they're going to go, Call, it's just a movie. It's just a horror movie. How can you say that they're normalizing animals and humans? Well, for starters, I can say that for a fact because the entire plot of a lot of these films, like Disney movies like Beauty and the Beast, were based on that. You think that that's crazy? Guess again. Years ago, I was doing videos, and Jeff C., the late Jeff C., was doing videos, and we were talking a lot to each other off air about how insane some of this stuff was going to get when it comes to animals and humans. And he specifically lived up in Canada, and up in Canada, they were passing laws and bills then that protected people and allowed them to perform certain acts with animals. I kid you not. Those videos are likely scraped off the internet now. Why? Because this was pre-massive censorship. This was 4 to 5 years ago. This is stuff that's going to be normal, just like the stuff I tell you about children. And again, people hear it and they go, you're the one who's thinking that. Trust me, I'm not thinking that. I like ladies, okay? Not interested. But why am I thinking and seeing it? Because it's right in front of our faces. You can feel it. You can sense it. If you can't, then you're blind to this. Or you're just telling yourself that this isn't the way that the world is going to go. And I can't blame you for telling yourself that, because this stuff with children, with animals, is so despicable to even think about. I can't blame people from just shutting themselves off to not even wanting to hear about it. But I'm showing you and telling you because this is prep. Now, this movie, I'm not saying, because I haven't seen it, I'm not saying that they're going to be with the animal and doing stuff. But they obviously, the plot of the film that they reveal is about I keep wanting to say goat because we're so used to seeing bath, and obviously lambs and goats and sheep, you get the point. But the lamb is the child, right? They have they put the lamb in a crib in their home, right? They're in the house feeding it, breast milk out of whatever you call the thing that you feed a baby with. Right? They're rocking it. They've got it dressed up, walking around with it. Now, sure, the whole plot could end up being, oh, well, he was delusional and psychotic because they couldn't have kids. That's one of those themes, too, that is being pushed now. Parents who can't have kids. I don't know if you remember me covering this, but they were making these lifelike dolls that were so real. It was frightening. And a lot of people got offended because I was calling it out, because they were saying, look, I wasn't able to have kids, or somebody lost a child and they wanted to buy these things. And I was saying, well, it's kind of dangerous because of the other types of people out there. And then there was all these stories about how, oh, well, that could help prevent that stuff from happening, because then they could just act on a doll. I mean, just some of the sickest crap. You can't even fathom it. It's so sick. But anyway, that's a theme too. Parents who can't have kids, it's something that's being normalized. Well, I wonder why that is. And nobody looks to the sky. Nobody looks to the magic potions. No one looks to the crap in the food that's dumped in. People just suddenly can't do it anymore, or have to go and have some procedure done, like IVF or whatever, to make sure that they can have kids. Nothing suspicious about that, folks. You shouldn't be questioning why it's happening, should you? Oh yeah, you should be. But guess what? No one does. So these parents raise the lamb as a child. That's the theme. And, the trailer loves to put in some little mockery things, right? Of course, they put in the crown of flowers, which is, if you don't think that that's a shot at a crown of thorns, think again. I'm sure nobody thought of that when they're making it. I just burst their bubble. They said, oh, I didn't even think of that when we did all this producing of the film, put all this money into every single shot like we do, and thinking everything through a million times over and overanalyzing it. Yeah, no, I guess they must have just missed that. Now, there's also another reference in here with what's the band? The Beach Boys. I almost said the Beatles. What's the difference, right? Tavistock for one, Tavistock for the other. Social engineering at its best. But they play the song by the Beach Boys, God Only Knows, right? Interesting. Well, you might actually hear that song and think it was a love song in a sense, right? They even play it in the middle of the trailer to almost take the seriousness of the film, because it's supposed to be a horror film, and try to make it into it's light and it's kooky and it's funny, and then going back to seriousness with with the animals and stuff. Pretty interesting how that works, right? Pretty interesting, because then you could read the comments and see how the pulse of the people respond. And most people were like, whoa, I thought it was really scary. Then they put that Beach Boy song right in the middle of it. And then it felt more lovey-dovey with the animal and the family. Oh, that's interesting. That's how mind control I shouldn't say predictive program. That's how mind control and social engineering works. So this is I mean, what else can really be said? I get it if someone's going to see it, but obviously the whole notion of it being about lambs, right? Mix in some goats. I'm sure Baphomet will make an appearance, right? I'm pretty sure they show in the distance what looks like it could be the Baphomet. It was like a goat in a trench coat or something, like Dr. Loomis or whoever, from Halloween, standing in a trench coat looking in, and his goat, he's a goat. I mean, the kid is a goat. She's kissing the goat, the lamb. Like she's kissing the lamb on the face with the feathers. You got the as above, so below at the end. You have the all-seeing eye symbolism with the deliberate zooming in. Obviously, I'm sure this thing will be filled with tons of, references, biblical references, wolf and sheep's clothing type of stuff, which they even hint at as well. So, but God and the devil aren't real. They just love to talk about it so much, especially this company who made this. I mean, they just came out with the movie about witches. Oh, but that's, that was just something they were like, hey, nobody's ever done a movie on witches. There's not 8 million Disney movies or just movies in general on it. Let's make a movie about witches. And then we'll have the Satanists promote it too and say how great it is. And we'll use the bath in there too. Oh, okay. Oh, and then we're going to make a movie about rituals, these rituals like the solstices that people like me expose all the time, and we'll have everybody out in the summer having a great time, and then of course people will be sacrificed because that's how this stuff works, and then next year we'll make a movie about a lamb. Oh, okay. And we won't be referencing they sure seem to like the Bible a lot. They show you this stuff. This is sigil magic. This is how it works. They show it to you right in front of your faces. People just choose not to. Look, everybody's been desensitized by everything so much so they see something like this, they're just like, oh, it's just a horror movie call. Yeah. Look, I could sit here and I could do movies. I could do videos talking about movies like Paranormal Activity, The Exorcist, these demonically possessed type films. I have already in the past. The patterns are there. The repetition's there. The fact that they keep talking about it's the same as them talking about vampires every month. Same thing. This is humanizing it. This is normalizing it. That's what you're going to see here with lamb. Okay? And I ain't just talking about, oh, the lamb's going to be their child. Isn't that cute? Because, if you have a cat or a dog, meow, you can look at it as a child. Well, I get that reference, right? I have pets. I've had pets. I love pets. That's great. This is taking it a little far, of course. But that's not what this is ultimately about. So when it does come out, I don't know if I'll be able to sit through it, to be honest. At this point, there's so much stuff going on, I can't sit through much anymore. I go on ups and downs, and just looking at this world, I mean, it's so disgusting. I mean, it really is, they're mocking nonstop. They're forcing things nonstop on people. They're forcing people to crack. They're forcing people to go put this thing in their body. It's just horrible. Sitting and watching what they're doing to human beings is horrible. They're doing this to children. It's just, it should break your heart. Am I pissed? Yeah. But at the same time, I'm heartbroken looking at what this world has become. There's so many people that need help. There's so many people that if they could just get past the whole, oh, it's a horror movie, it's supposed to be like that. All those types of mindsets that they've created. Oh, it's a conspiracy. These are all things that make people automatically dismiss this type of stuff. Oh, it's fiction. It's a conspiracy. It can't be real. When in reality, those are the things that are actually happening. The stuff you see on the news with the big bad outbreak, that is not happening. That's called a mental operation. And people are like, oh, how could everybody, I don't get it. Oh, yeah, it's pretty easy to figure out if you connect the dots. Pretty easy to see. You could, tests could automatically trigger. They could put it in a computer system and say anybody with these letters in their name are testing positive. Oh, every 3 of these test kits that we give out automatically. I mean, but people are like, oh, that's too complex. That's illegal. Okay. And what they're doing is legal and perfectly normal. It's a joke. The world's an utter joke. So this is Lamb, folks. Just a heartwarming film about 2 people who raise a lamb almost like they're in love with it. Creepy references like that throughout the trailer. You get your eye symbolism, your as above, so below symbolism, your wolf in sheep's clothing, your God references, and of course your crown of flowers, mocking, of course, the crown of thorns. They think they're obsessed much? I'd say so. Why is that? Because that's the real war that's going on, the spiritual one. And only so few out there are seeing it. It's scary. Time for people to wake up. I thank you guys for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.